Hey guys, Miss Coon here, just ready to update you kind of on everything of how this week will look. So just know that this is going to probably be a little bit longer of a video than normal, just because I want everyone to kind of know what is going to happen and what this next week will look at from home. So first thing is I do not have a Google Classroom. A lot of the school uses Google Classroom as their platform. I do not. I use something called Canvas. So the students should know how to get into Canvas, but what they will need to probably do to get in, there's one of two ways that they can get in. They can either go to NC Ed Cloud and they can log in. It's going to ask them for their username is their lunch number. And then their password is something that they have been given. If they don't have it or don't remember it, they can always email me and I can go ahead and send them that information. But they will have a screen that kind of looks like this, and Canvas is right here. They can also from home do something called Clever. If they click on Clever, they log in with their Google account. It'll ask them which one, and then it will bring them into Clever, and they should see here that they can come down here and pick Canvas. If Clever is giving them an error saying it's not secure, what that means is they need to log out of any other email account they are using. So I would sign out of everything and then go into just plain old Google and log in up here with their school account and not have a list of emails that are signed in. Because sometimes Clever is even though you pick your school account, sometimes it starts pulling from another account. So that's what they have told us to do if that message is coming on at home. If they cannot figure out either way, like Rapid Identity or Clever, you can actually call central office, and I can look up that number for you right now. If you call over there, they actually can give you to the web help desk, but their number is 336-570-6060. It's right here at the bottom of the screen on their website. And they will be able to help students log in if my suggestions don't work. So just know that number is there, and there'll be somebody there during the day to help get kids logged in if they need help. So once they log into Canvas, their screen will look like this. It says, please click the picture below and do the assignment listed for 7th grade, week 1. Go at your own pace. Please email me or Google Hangout with me if you need assistance. So they'll click on this picture. It will take them, it's going to jump their screen, and now it says 7th grade by Gary Soto. This says March 16th through April 3rd. So these are the main documents they're going to need for the next 3 weeks. So we have their portfolio assignment. We have the story that goes with their portfolio assignment. And then there's a poem that they're going to be using to compare to the story. So here is the copy of the poem. Then down here you can see that this is just week 1, March 16th through the 20th. And they can work at this at their own pace. The good thing about Canvas is that it won't unlock the next activity until they've done the activity they need to do first. So, for instance, they can't access all these activities. They have to do activity 1, and once they contribute to the discussion board, then it will unlock activity 2. And once they've submitted their work, which I'll go into how they do that here in a second, then it will unlock 3 and so on and so forth. So they can sit down and they can do activity 1 and 2 the first day. They could just do, they could do 1, 2, and 3, it's whatever they want to do at their own pace. So I'm going to kind of go through and show you kind of what each activity looks like. So activity 1 is a discussion board. So the kids would get on here and they're going to say and the question is, what was the beginning of 7th grade like for you? What were your thoughts? What were you excited about? And what were you nervous about? And you can see here, I can already see that there's 5 people who have submitted. And so they have their responses here. And then that will unlock the next activity for them. So they'll be able to hit the next button. And the next button says, go to your Google Drive and pull up the 7th grade PDF and complete activity number 2, plot analysis. They were working on small groups in this. If they want to Google Hangout their friends and kind of work together or be on the phone with each other and FaceTime each other and work through this, that's totally fine with me. I just ask that if they are talking to their friends, and one friend isn't just sharing the answers with the other friend, that they're actually doing the work together. Once they're done, they can meet with me to discuss the answers. Or they can just turn it in and send me an email. Hey, Ms. Kuhn, can you look at this and see if I did it right? And I will do that. So this is supposed to be due by tomorrow, but I know everyone's kind of at their own pace and everyone has a lot of things going on. This is what activity 2 looks like. So once they go into their Google Drive and pull up 7th grade PDF, what they're going to have to do, and they should know this, at the beginning of this, here's their portfolio right here. And then they click on this. It kind of tells them everything that they're going to be doing. And here's the link to the portfolio. So they would click on this. And depending on your computer, some of it's going to bring it up like this, and they can go and open with Cami. Some people may not have Cami on their computer. And what you would do is go to Google Chrome Store. And you would click on it. And over here, it says search the story. You type in Cami, Kami, and then you would add it over here, and it pops up at the top of your screen. It looks just like this. It's a purple circle with a white K in it. And what this allows them to do is actually type directly onto the document. So I can put my text box if I need my text box, and I can put it here. Or if I need to highlight, I can choose what color and I can choose what I want highlighted, and it's going to highlight it for me. It's a really cool program. We've been using this in class, so they should know, but there's like a dictionary if they need to look up words. They can text to speech, so they could talk to it. They can leave a comment. They could actually leave me a voice comment like, Ms. Kuhn, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do number 4. And so they could just click on this and they come over here and it will load the audio for them, allow them to use the microphone. So there's all kinds of really cool things that this program allows them to do, all directly on the program for them. Okay, so this is what activity 2 is. It says in your own words, define these terms. Then they read this story and see it has activity 2 right here on it. And then they have questions they need to answer for activity 2. Okay, and that's all that they would need to do on Monday is that discussion board and then this plot analysis. Okay, so then if we go back to our classroom, and they finished the plot analysis, there would be a submit button up here, and they should know how to submit it. And they can go to the next one. It says, go to your Google Drive, pull up the 7th grade, this portfolio again. And this time it says activity 3, context clues. So if they keep scrolling down, you have context clues right here. And then at the bottom, it tells you that it's activity 3, right down here. Okay, so it says it's due March 17th. And then you have discussion board number 2. Think of a time that you or someone did something foolish or embarrassing while trying to impress a crush. What happened? Remember not to reveal true identities unless this is about yourself. So just trying to protect the identities of other people at school. They might not want everyone to know who they're talking about. So they would hit reply and they type their response. And when they're done, they hit post reply. And then it will let them go into the next thing. So the next one, so again, they have their portfolio and there's this really cool video for them to watch about 8 ways to get your crush to notice you. It's about someone their age. It's actually a really cute video. And so they would go on here and there's like 8 ways that he lists, so that they would go and they're going to do that with that video. So they'd list the 8 ways. That's activity 5. Sorry. And then, so that's activity 5. And then the next activity, activity 6, is now they actually read the story. So everything they did up to this point was to prep them. That's kind of warm up stuff, things we do in the classroom before we read the story. Now they go in and they read the story, and they find the story underneath where they got their portfolio that says the 7th grade story. And then activity 6 is annotation guide. As a group, you'll read the story and annotate for 8 ways given to get your crush to notice you. That you are the main, get to notice you, that the main character Victor uses in the story. You can highlight each example in a different color or put a number beside each example 1 through 8. Once you have read and annotated, you will need to turn in your annotations and then go back and complete number 5 using your annotations. So basically, they'll go back after they read the story and they annotate on the story, which they know how to do. They'll come back. I also gave them the story on paper, so they could also read the story and annotate it directly on the paper if they were here on Friday. They were not here on Friday. You can always come to the school. There's a table set out in the main lobby of the school with the 7th grade on there, and there's copies of the story if they need it. That works for them. But they would list ways that Victor made sure he looked good or smelled good. Or if, whatever example number 2, if it was make sure you have fresh breath, like what did he do to make sure he has fresh breath, or whatever the example is. So they'll use the story to go back and do that. So once they're done with that, they'll submit their assignment and then they click next. And this takes them to a quiz. They put in their email address. It is a simple 10 questions, and they can use the story when they take the quiz. So they can go back and look in the story for their next activity, and then they'll submit, and I'll give them a grade. And then the next activities is 8 and 9. Go into your Google Drive and pull up the 7th grade PDF and complete activity number 9, plot diagram. So the next activity is this one, diagramming a story. They've done this a lot of times this year. They know how to do it. So they'll read the story and then they'll come in here and they'll do this. And that is it for this week. Okay. Once they get to activity 9, that's done. They're done for this week. Then coming next week, we will get into more of the packet. And then the next week will be like, they're going to be writing an essay for me. So this is kind of what I'm expecting them to do. Is this portfolio. If you have any questions or they have any questions, they can always Google Hangout me. This is how they Google Hangout me. They go into their email, they come over and they go down here and they go to Google Hangout conversations. And then they come over here and hit the plus button and they can type in my name and they can Google chat with me, or they can come over here and hit the phone call. And they can type in, they have my phone number. Some people do, some people don't. You could call me there. Or in Google Hangouts, once I accept the invitation, it will also allow you to video if they needed to see my screen for something, or we just needed to talk. So there's that. So again, that's kind of how this week looks. They click on the picture. It will hop them right to the page. This is where they get their portfolio. This is where they get the story from. Okay, so they here's the story. They can get on and they can annotate on the story and read this story. I have some people right now that I can see are on my story, so that's awesome. This stuff down below, these 11 questions, they don't need to do unless they just want to, because it kind of gives you the answers. So, okay. So I hope that this kind of helped answer some questions for people. If it was confusing or you need help, more help, just let me know. I hope everyone stays well. Bye.